Hi, this is Koji from Celestial Rhythms. Today, June 3rd, is a powerful day. It's a first day of a 13-day wave in the Mayan calendar. It's 1 CIMI, that's the white magnetic world bridger, right? The bridge between the worlds. That's what it says here on this screen, which you probably cannot read, but that is okay. So the bridge between the worlds, that's a powerful day. It's the cardinal north energy, which is very strong, which is about purification and getting to the roots of everything. So this is the first in a sequence of 13. The next 13 days will be truly biblical. I mean, things have been building up already. We have been in biblical times. There's no question to that. It just will amp up yet to altogether more powerful, more intense level. We just have to be clear. This is a phase which we go through. It will last approximately 4 weeks of real intensity into July 10, maybe a little more, 5 weeks. Q gave us that lineup a few weeks ago. I guess it's now about two weeks ago, with the 10 positions, and showed us where we were in that unfolding of that 10 scene piece. We were in week 2 by then. Now we are, I guess, by week 4 or something. Anyway, so today VESTA, the asteroid VESTA, changed into Cancer. Right. Let me just quickly show you the reference page which I had ready here. That's the one for the Mayan calendar. If you're not familiar with it, this is a great place to find out what day you were born on. And you then can do some research here on my old site, where I give all the links into interpreting the Mayan calendar. You can click here on the day signs and you get to the 20-day signs. I did this site, maybe it's now more than 15 years ago. Anyway, it's not perfect, but it's a very good start. And let's now get into the astrology of the day, which is Vesta's Cancer ingress. Vesta here, the flame, the holy fire, one of the 4 major asteroids. I guess it's the brightest of them all. Ceres, Vesta, Pallas, and Juno. So Vesta is a very important figure in that game. It relates to commitment and focus, doing one's work in the best way possible. It is the goddess which protects the fire, the inner fire in the Vesta's temple, the Vestalins temple in Rome. The light was kept alive 24/7, 365, that holy fire, that holy light. So Vesta in Cancer, that's big. Cancer being the sign of home, of caring. It's the sun sign of the American nation, interestingly enough, which shows how deep the human care factor is in the United States. They're very emotional as a nation. They care deeply for each other, and when it goes to the other side, to the other extreme, naturally, then love is kind of balanced by those extreme emotions on the other side, which can be stifled, where people totally lose themselves. Anyway, we're right at this edge where the solar eclipse will happen in 3 weeks. on the 21st. Actually, that's only 2.5 weeks away. We will have a lunar eclipse in 2 days, which is difficult and dark, but definitely it's a passage we are going through. And this ingress chart of VESTA into Cancer is very special in many ways. So this is a cast for Washington, D.C. It was earlier today, a few hours ago. So we have Juno rising. We have Chiron at the 7th house cusp. So Juno is here in hexagram 18, and so is the ascendant, and so is the equatorial point. That segment from 352.30 Libra to 9:30 Libra, hexagram 18, work on what has been spoiled. I did a podcast about that, about 2-3 month period. Juno is in this segment. It has been regressing into this segment, turned direct on the 26th of May, just a week ago or so, and is now forwardly moving here again. So Juno is about relationship, partnership, it's working together, it's getting things done in a team and uniting our energies, connecting our synapses, if you want. So it is really important to work as an orchestra in these days, times. And Maki Maki is here, a very powerful newly found planet of creation, named after an Easter goddess, Easter Island goddess, I should say. Easter Islands, there is this archaic, powerful, primordial creation force in this energy. And then there is also Salacia, which is not yet that much researched, but by what we see, Salacia seems to imply there's some enjoyment in what we are experiencing. Just to be able to see the silver lining, you could say. Anyway, so Chiron, the black moon, Aries, and Vertex, all in Aries here. I mean, these points are in this sign for a long time, but they're highly brought into the foreground in this chart, in the 7th house. It is taking on the discrepancies in a head-on way. What is not in balance, to zoom in on it, that's what this implies, this strong descendant Chiron. This is hexagram 17, which opposes 18. 17 is called following. It is very much in line with the VESTA energy, a very spiritual approach to life, of following higher principles, of following the light, and let oneself be guided by. So today, 1 CIMI, the white magnetic world bridger, VESTA entering Cancer, June 3rd, 6-3, which adds up to a 9. And if you take the year as a 4, 2020, then you get to a 13. So today is a 13 day, which reduces into a 4, which is kind of laying the foundation. The 4 is a powerful number of materializing energies, of staking the 4 directions out, of drawing the outline of the structure, putting the poles in and making clear this is the confined space we are occupying and which we will make into something of high value. That's kind of the basic energy of the 4. So if we look at this moment from the heliocentric perspective, which I always like to do, which adds a whole new additional dimension to the game, because when we look at the geocentric alignments, which we just did before, let's just quickly go back once more. That is where, from our point of view, the Sun is located and Venus, and I forgot mentioning that today also is the Sun-Venus conjunction, the midpoint of Venus 6-7 weeks of going backwards when Venus comes exactly between us. So this adds to the importance of what I said before. It is always like that when there are days when multiple strong alignments happen, dang, 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 one in a sequence. It's almost like a drum roll. And on these days are major nodes in time, you could call it. It's like crossing of different cycles all at the same time, beginning, getting into a new stage. So today is a day of planting roots, of meditating in that sense, of holding the ground and just feeling that connection with existence. The moon in Scorpio is lovely, it's very deep, very powerful. The moon here in the segment of hexagram 1, which is creation, between 13-15 Scorpio and roughly the 19th degree, 1852-30 to be exact. That's hexagram 1's territory. That means we use our energies in a creative way, our emotional energies, I should say, our core connection with nature is very lunar. It's the child within us which resonates with the moon. So it is that primal direct access to use our creative emotional energy in a positive focused way. That's what we are asked to get into, to line up with one another, to coordinate and to set out to change what has been out of balance, to focusedly zoom in on it and just do it. Yes, just do it. That's Mars. And Mars is squaring the Sun, Earth. Mars is squaring Venus here. The square to Venus was also just happening a day or two ago. I haven't looked into that yet, but it just shows itself here. So Nessus is here, which I have referred to. Nessus is one of the centaurs, and it's a very difficult energy. It's abusive and dark and evil at its core. So that's what we have been definitely confronting in these terrible riots which were organized from highest up. We know that a man which names is starting with an S. I won't get into that too deep. Anyway, if you follow Q, you do know what I'm talking about. So this dark, difficult energy really has been in the forefront of everybody's mind. That's that Venus retrograde, Synodic cycle start. That's another really important thing. That means when Venus is exactly between Sun and Earth, when in that sense she surpasses Earth, it just appears going backwards because we are moving too. So it's a bit needs a little imagination for that. It would be nice to have a screen going and a recording I could show you with my hands or something. Anyway, figured that out. Didn't figure that out yet. I hope I get into live streaming with camera and screen sharing. Anyway, that's a project I'm still working on. So what I here want to show you is the heliocentric chart for a minute, and heliocentric VESTA 625 at that moment when VESTA by from Earth's point of view, entered Cancer. Here it was squaring the ascendant and descendant as seen from the Sun, and exactly on the ascendant is also Maki again, that energy of creation discovered in 2004, first known by Mike Brown from California, Caltech. He was the one that discovered it together with many other. He's one of the leading edge scientists on that front. So Maki, VESTA, Chiron is a perfect T-square. How about that? Well, perfect, within half a degree or something of exactness. So let's get things happen. Let's make them happen. I mean, there's so many other really powerful things going on, which I have talked about and written in the past months. Slower moving planets in perfect position. Just want to point out again Jupiter and Arrokoth, which just had a close conjunction, starting a new 13-year cycle. Arrokoth, that small body which is so far away, the farthest in our solar system we have clear footage on, thanks to New Horizons spacecraft, and thanks for showing up exactly at the right moment. So Arrokoth has added a whole additional level of consciousness to our planet. That's what happens when a new body is discovered. It's whatever expressions kind of emerge into the conscious realm. So with every new body, some new facet of who we are, what this world is about, comes into consciousness. Arrokoth, its discovery and analysis of data has brought science to the point where they have to rewrite the whole solar system's history. Everything they were thinking has been debunked by that mere little body. So that tells you about the power of this little body. I will refer to it repeatedly because it stands out. It happens to stand out. If we just go to the next chart, I guess that's let me just see if it's this one. No, it's the this one here, right? Nope, there's too many open here. Let me just quickly scoop through here. Here, this is the one. It's the next Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, one of many. But here again you have Arrokoth right at mid-heaven. That's by the end of June. Well, that's maybe a nice little turn to a different time after we come out or close to the other end of what that present stage is. And yes, it will be an enlightening of many people, which doesn't mean it's an easy time, but it's coming to consciousness that we have to rewrite history. Kind of, that's what I see here happening in real time. So let's just go back here to the heliocentric one for a minute, which was this one here. And then what I also looked at was the midpoint chart between the American Nations chart and that moment when VESTA entered Cancer just a few hours ago. And yes, that's really just confirms what I said, how powerful this energy of cooperation, of focus, of working together, of synchronizing our thoughts, our energies, of becoming a coherent force. I guess that's what really is what the dark side has been profiteering about, that we were all on different levels, pages, stories, timelines, and intentionally, naturally, creating all these splits and divisions. And the more we mature from that cycle and see that really this has been done to us by intention, the more we realize we don't have to buy into it, like we now see happening in the United States in many cities where they had planned these big riots and just nobody comes and participates. It's just these few agitators, and once these are the only ones on the street, then they are easily recognized, and as it happened in some places, as I've seen footage on Facebook shared, these funks, and I'm using this word too, yes, these thugs were chased out of town. Here we go. If we do not participate, then they have no chance. So that's basically what will happen in the next few weeks, that as more information comes into the field of consciousness, more declassification, more clarity on undeniable facts of what has happened, what this whole situation we're in is really and not what it was presented as, people will unite, and this will just generate such a field, a growing field of unity, of coherence, that everything else will almost happen naturally, magically. And you see, it is a difficult time we are in. Also here we can see it. I pointed to around June 10, 12, in that range is really the culmination. That's when the midpoint sun, you have to just take in account this chart moves half as fast as the transits, because it's a midpoint, moves at half speed naturally. So these 4.5 degrees roughly will be 9 days. So you can pretty much add 9 days to where we are right now. So this makes around June 12, as I say. That will be kind of the when we are at the center of this catching the shadow part, which happens, we could say, yes, really zooming in on it and capturing it and taking care of it. I guess that's the way we should see it. It's really, in the biggest sense, this is a game. Don't get emotionally involved too much in it. Just see it as a perfected martial art contest, and in the end we grow stronger, we become more enlightened and aware and understanding, because this dark energy is here, and it challenges us to sharpen up, to brighten our powers, and to get into our full glory. That's really the prize which comes out of that whole challenge. So let's look at it that way. And again, just one last word here. This Mars VESTA opposition is just so beautiful. It really brings it all to one point. Also AW 2002 AW, I guess, I forget the number exactly, to be honest, but I know its meaning, which is related to the art of war, the ability to use the opponent's strategy to win the game, to tune into the opponent's move and capture the momentum and turn it back on itself. It's a boomerang, you could call it. So exactly that's what we see here, all lined up together. It's really showing us that yes, we reached the crest of the wave. We are right at the point where the big breakthrough will happen. So just hold the ground and be calm and celebrate. It's all happening. Thank you so much for joining here and listening to this, and give it a like, share it if you feel like, and join Celestial Rhythms on Facebook. Thank you.